Imagine a time of confusion and heaviness. Even the strongest man in history, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, began to feel the weight of an invisible burden. He would imagine he had done things that he had not done. His sight was clear, but his internal state was clouded. It was a silent attack, not with swords or arrows, but with the dark arts.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق.
I seek refuge in the Lord of the Daybreak, from the evil of that which He created. In the depths of a well in Madina, a dark secret lay hidden under a rock. Knots were tied, words were whispered, and envy was weaponized. But Allah, the Lord of the Dawn, does not leave His servants in darkness. He sent down 2 surahs, like 2 lights from the heavens, to break the chains of magic and envy. You are watching Quran Stories TV. We continue with the stories of the Quran surahs. To not miss the series, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and support us with your comments. If you're ready, let's begin. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Surah Al-Falaq is the 113th chapter of the Quran. Along with the surah that follows it, An-Nas, they are known together as Al-Mu'awwidhatayn, the 2 verses of refuge. While there is some discussion among scholars about whether it was revealed in Mecca or Medina, the most famous historical context connects it to the incident of magic in Medina. It is a short surah, only 5 verses, but its weight on the scale is heavier than mountains. It is the ultimate shield. It is the weapon of the believer against the unseen dangers of the night, the magician, and the jealous eye. In Surah Al-Falaq, the main topics are the absolute lordship of Allah over the break of day, the reality of evil in creation, the danger of the night, the existence of black magic, and the destructive power of jealousy, Hasad. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave special importance to this surah. He said regarding these verses, "Do you not see that there have been verses revealed tonight, the like of which has never been seen before?" This shows that Surah Falaq is unique in its power to protect. Now, let us look at the meaning and story of the surah, verse by verse.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل أعوذ برب الفلق.
I seek refuge in the Lord of the Daybreak. Allah begins with the command, Qul. This is an instruction to the Prophet and to every believer until the day of judgment. It means declare this openly. Use these words as your shield. Then comes the word A'udhu. It implies running from something terrifying to a fortress that is safe. It is an act of desperation and trust. You are admitting, O Allah, I am weak, and I cannot fight these evils alone. I am running to you for safety. But look at the name Allah chooses here. Rabbil Falaq, the Lord of the Daybreak. The word Falaq literally means to split or to cleave asunder. It refers to the moment the darkness of the night is ripped open by the light of the dawn. Why this specific name? Because the person seeking refuge is usually in a state of darkness, whether it is the darkness of fear, the darkness of magic, or the darkness of depression. By calling upon the Lord of the Daybreak, you are acknowledging that just as Allah splits the pitch-black night to bring the sun, He can split your problems and bring relief. Some scholars of Tafsir also say Falaq refers to the splitting of the seed in the earth to bring forth a plant, or the splitting of the womb to bring forth life. It represents the explosion of life and light from dead, dark places. Other commentaries, like that of Ibn Abbas, suggest Falaq is a specific pit in hellfire, so terrifying that even hell seeks refuge from it. By seeking refuge in the Lord of that pit, you are asking the one who controls the punishment to protect you from it.
من شر ما خلق.
From the evil of that which He created. This verse is all-encompassing. It covers every harmful thing in existence. It includes humans, jinn, animals, viruses, natural disasters, and even the evil within our own selves. A question often rises here. Why did Allah create evil? This question challenges many, but there is an important point. Allah created everything for a purpose. The fire is created, and it has evil if it burns your house, but it has good if it cooks your food. The snake has venom, which is evil for the victim, but a defense for the snake. Furthermore, this life is a test. Without the existence of harmful things, there is no concept of safety. Without the struggle against evil, there is no reward for choosing good. However, notice the grammar. It does not say, from the evil of Allah's creation. It says, from the evil of that which He created. Evil is not an attribute of Allah. Perfection belongs to Him. Evil is a result of the actions or the nature of the created things. When we recite this, we ask Allah to hold back the harm of every single creature in the universe.
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب.
And from the evil of darkness when it settles. After mentioning general evil, Allah now zooms in on 3 specific times when danger is highest. The first is Ghasiq, the darkness. Ghasiqin idha waqab means the night when it becomes intensely dark and the moon enters into it. Why is the night singled out? Think about it. Most crimes happen at night. Predators hunt at night. The human mind becomes more vulnerable to anxiety at night. In the daylight, we feel safe because we can see. But when darkness settles, waqab, our vision is blocked. We cannot see what is coming. This is also a scientific reality. Biologically, the human body changes at night. Hormones shift. If a person is lonely or depressed, the silence of the night makes the thoughts louder. The darkness can also be metaphoric, the darkness of ignorance or the darkness of losing one's path. Some tafsirs narrate that the Prophet looked at the moon and said to Aisha radhiyallahu anha, "Seek refuge with Allah from the evil of this, for this is the Ghasiq when it sets." This refers to the time when light completely disappears. The believer does not fear the dark, but he respects that it is a time when evil forces, both human and jinn, are more active. We place ourselves under Allah's protection during these vulnerable hours.
وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
And from the evil of the blowers in knots. This verse brings us to the historical heart of the surah. Nafathat refers to those who blow. Fil uqad means into knots. This is a direct reference to the practice of sorcery and black magic, sihr. Historically, when a sorcerer wanted to cast a spell, they would take a string or a rope, tie a knot, and recite evil incantations while blowing into the knot with a mix of air and saliva. This was to bind the victim's soul or body. The story behind this is chilling. A Jewish man named Labid ibn al-Assam, who was a hypocrite and a sorcerer, managed to get hold of a comb belonging to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which had some of his noble hair. He tied 11 knots in a bowstring, blew magic into them, and hid this under a rock inside a well called Zarwan. The Prophet began to fall ill. He felt weak and confused. He would think he had done something when he hadn't. This was not a flaw in his prophethood. It was a human trial, just as he could get a fever or be wounded in battle. Allah allowed this to happen so that his ummah would learn how to deal with magic. 2 angels came to the Prophet in a dream. One sat at his head, the other at his feet. They revealed who did it, how he did it, and where the magic was hidden. The Prophet sent Ali and others to the well. They found the water had turned the color of henna, reddish, looking like blood. They retrieved the knots. As the Prophet recited Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas, for every verse recited, a knot untied itself, and the heaviness lifted from him instantly, as if a rope had been untied from his legs. He stood up, completely cured. This verse confirms that magic is real. It is not a myth. It is a dark energy used by those who have sold their souls. However, the verse also teaches us the cure. We do not need other magicians to cure magic. We do not need strange amulets. We need the word of Allah. The power of the Lord of the Daybreak is infinitely stronger than the blowers in knots.
وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ.
And from the evil of an envier when he envies. The final verse deals with perhaps the most common and destructive evil in society, Hasad, envy. What is Hasad? It is not just wanting what someone else has. That is called gibta and is permissible if you don't wish them harm. Hasad is the burning desire for the blessing to be removed from the other person. It is a hatred of Allah's distribution of gifts. The envier is essentially saying, "O Allah, why did you give this to him? He does not deserve it." This is an objection to Allah's wisdom. The verse says, when he envies, إِذَا hasad. This implies that a person might have jealousy in their heart, but it only becomes dangerous when they act on it or focus that negative energy through the evil eye, al-ain. Science is only beginning to understand the power of the mind and energy. The evil eye is real. The Prophet said, "The evil eye is true. If anything were to overtake the divine decree, qadr, it would be the evil eye. It can cause sickness, loss of wealth, and destruction of families." Notice the progression of the surah. It starts with general evil, creation, moves to the night, a time, then to magic, a specific action, and ends with envy, a quality of the soul. Why is envy last? Because envy is often the root cause of magic. Labid ibn al-Asam used magic against the Prophet because of envy. Iblis, Satan, refused to bow to Adam because of envy. It is the oldest sin. Also, magic requires a ritual and a professional sorcerer. But envy can come from anyone, a neighbor, a friend, or even a relative. It is an invisible weapon that can strike you from anywhere. By reciting this verse, we shield ourselves from the negative energy of others. But we must also check our own hearts. Do we feel pain when we see others happy? If so, we must seek refuge from our own selves as well. This short surah, along with Surah An-Nas, is a complete fortress. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would not sleep until he cupped his hands, recited Surah Al-Ikhlas, Al-Falaq, and An-Nas, blew into his hands and wiped them over his entire body. He did this 3 times every night. Think about the psychological comfort this brings. In a world full of unseen viruses, primes, jealous competitors, and spiritual darkness, a human being can feel very small and defenseless. Anxiety is the disease of the modern age. But Allah gave us the cure 1,400 years ago. When you say, "I seek refuge in the Lord of the Daybreak," you are reminding yourself that the darkness is temporary. Just as the sun is guaranteed to rise and break the night, Allah's help is guaranteed to break your difficulties. The surah teaches us that we live in a dangerous world, yes. There are knots, there is darkness, and there are envious eyes. But it also teaches us that we have a Lord who controls all of it. The darkness is His creation, and He has power over it. The sorcerer is his creation, and he can render the magic void. The envier is his creation, and he can block the harm. So, the next time you feel fear, or you wake up from a nightmare, or you feel the heavy gaze of a jealous person, do not despair. Remember the dark well in Medina, and how the light of these verses shattered the strongest magic. Connect your heart to Rabbil Falaq.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of Daybreak, from the evil of whatever he has created, and from the evil of the night when it grows dark, and from the evil of those witches casting spells by blowing onto nuts, and from the evil of an envier when they envy. It is a declaration of Tawheed, a declaration of trust, and the ultimate protection for the believer. In this video, we have learned Surah Al-Falaq together with its tafsir and deep meanings, insha'Allah. May Allah protect us all from the evil of creation, the darkness of the night, the magic of the wicked, and the envy of the jealous. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on the notifications, support us with your comments, and like the video. May Allah reward you.